Did you know that most hydrogen water bottles never deliver the concentration printed on the box, and some barely change your water at all? That's the trap I want to keep you out of today. I went deep on 7 of the best. Every link is waiting in the description below, and by the end, you'll know precisely which one belongs in your hand. Let's dive in. Here's what most brands won't tell you up front. A huge chunk of the marketing in this space is pure noise. Inflated numbers, rebranded generic hardware, the whole circus. And there's one myth I need to bury right now. Hydrogen water does not turn your water alkaline. That's a mix-up. pH is about hydrogen ions, but these bottles infuse neutral molecular hydrogen gas, so your pH barely budges. What actually separates a real machine from a glorified nightlight is the membrane. The legit ones run SPE and PEM technology, which quietly vents the bad stuff like chlorine and ozone out the bottom instead of recirculating it into your drink. Skip that, and you're basically sipping pool water. So that's our filter today. Real tech, real output, zero fairy tales. Let's open at the summit with the PurePebrix H8000 Ultra. And honestly, this thing is a beast. It's independently certified to push up to 8,160 parts per billion of molecular hydrogen in a 20-minute cycle, which is the highest verified output I've seen in a portable unit. It scales cleanly too. A quick 5-minute run gives you a solid dose, and you build from there. The platinum iridium membrane means byproduct-free infusion, the OLED screen tells you exactly where you are in a cycle, and the Triton body is tough and BPA-free. But the real party trick is the 12-hour hydrogen retention, so you can brew once in the morning and still be drinking high-concentration water at lunch. Reaching that peak number takes 2 back-to-back cycles, so you'll want to plan your hydration about 20 minutes ahead. Think of it less like a tap and more like brewing a great pot of coffee. Picture a marathon runner spinning up the full cycle at dawn, sealing the bottle, heading to the track, and still cracking open dense antioxidant water for recovery hours later. It even ships with a nasal cannula for inhalation if you want to go full biohacker at your desk. Now, if you love that power but you're rougher on your gear, meet the Energilz. This one is built like a tank for the gym crowd. It delivers a strong 6,000 parts per billion through 2 quick cycles, and the vessel is premium borosilicate glass wrapped in a custom silicone sleeve. So you get the pure taste of glass without the heart attack every time it clinks around your gym bag. Where it truly flexes is battery life. One charge gets you somewhere between 20 and 30 cycles, which is frankly outrageous. Compared to the PurePebrix, you're trading a bit of that record-breaking concentration and some extra weight for near-bulletproof durability and a battery that just refuses to die. Toss it in a crowded bag, forget your charger on a 3-day trip, and it keeps going. It also unscrews from both ends, so you can actually clean the whole cylinder. A small detail that quietly keeps your water tasting clean for the long haul. If the last one was about brute toughness, this next pick flips the script toward pure style. The Hydro Original is the gateway bottle, the one you buy when you're curious but not ready to spend serious money. Stainless steel and glass, genuinely gorgeous on a desk, with a fast 3-minute cycle and a gamified LED light show that makes hydration weirdly fun. Its output sits lower than the premium crowd, and the hardware is happiest treated gently rather than thrown around, so it lives best as a stationary desk companion. And here's the funny truth nobody admits. A big part of its magic isn't the chemistry at all. It's psychology. People who could never finish 2 glasses of water suddenly crush 60 ounces a day just because they enjoy watching the bubbles glow. One heads up, it charges through a proprietary pin connector instead of USB-C, so guard that cable like it's the last one on Earth. Okay, quick reality check before we go further, because this part reframes everything. The headline ppb number on the box is almost never what actually lands in your body. Concentration starts evaporating the second a cycle ends, so a bottle screaming 5,000 parts per billion that vanishes in 20 minutes can lose to a calmer device that holds its hydrogen for hours. Retention and how steadily you sip matter just as much as the flashy peak. Keep that in mind because our next pick is built entirely around that idea. The Purify 3-in-1 pitcher walks away from the whole portable game and sets up shop on your counter. 50 ounces of shatter-resistant Triton, and that 3-in-1 name is real. SPE and PEM hydrogen infusion, a calcium sulfite filter that strips out chlorine before infusion, and a magnetic vortex that structures the water so it holds hydrogen roughly 3 times longer. Its peak concentration is lower than the portables, but that vortex trick means the dose stays locked in the fluid for hours, so across a whole day, a steady drinker can absorb just as much. Picture a family of 4. one morning cycle, and the structured water keeps hydrogen suspended long enough to pour everyone a glass at breakfast without brewing 4 separate bottles. It self-cleans, it tastes crisp thanks to that filter, and it turns a stale office water cooler into an antioxidant fountain. The filters do need occasional replacing, but that's the fair price for water this clean straight from the counter. Ready for the opposite extreme? The Aqua Vital is the friendly beginner bottle. Sleek borosilicate glass, one single button, USB-C charging, and a 3-minute cycle that asks nothing of you. What genuinely impressed me at this accessible price is the bottom exhaust vent that pushes chlorine and ozone out instead of back into your glass. A premium touch most cheap bottles skip entirely. The marketing is, let's say, enthusiastic. It'll compare one bottle to eating hundreds of apples, which you should absolutely take with a grain of salt, but the underlying engineering is quietly excellent. Treat it as water only and keep the base away from the sink, and you've got a clean, habit-forming little upgrade that slides right into your car's cup holder on the morning commute. It's the perfect test drive if you're just dipping a toe into all this. Now, if the Aqua Vital is the gentle on-ramp, this next one is the fully caffeinated other end. The Evolve is a clinical-grade little powerhouse that produces a staggering 5.4 parts per million. That's 5,400 parts per billion from a compact 8-ounce body. It hits that using medical-grade titanium, a Japanese Nafion membrane, and an architecture built to hold 150 psi of pressure, which is what physically forces that much gas to dissolve. That's the whole story behind the small size too. Go bigger and you'd need dangerously thick walls to contain that pressure, so the tiny vessel isn't a flaw. It's the trade-off that unlocks the potency. You drink it fast, almost like a medicinal shot rather than a casual sip. It's a premium investment and you'll refill it often, but for the dedicated biohacker chasing the purest, densest dose possible, nothing here touches it. Just remember to gently vent the cap before opening, unless you enjoy startling your coworkers. And to close things out, the Purify 17-ounce bottle might be the most balanced pick of the whole lineup. It pairs a generous 17-ounce capacity with a serious 6,290 parts per billion output, so you're not choosing between volume and power. You get both. There's a real ergonomic handle molded right into the lid, a huge 2200 mAh battery that laughs at charge anxiety, and a nasal cannula tucked in for inhalation. The body is food-grade polycarbonate rather than glass, which the purists will note, though it's rigorously BPA-free and honestly far more travel-friendly. Clip the handle to your bag with a carabiner, run a deep cycle on a long flight, and passively inhale hydrogen while you read. A full cycle takes some patience, but for someone constantly on the move, this is the one that erases every excuse. So let's bring it home. If you want the absolute highest concentration with all-day retention, the PurePebrix H8000 is your record breaker. If you're chasing the purest, most potent clinical dose, the Evolve is untouchable. For gym warriors who abuse their gear, the Energilz and its tank-like build won't blink. Families and offices should grab the Purify pitcher and its 50-ounce structured water. If you live out of a bag, the Purify 17-ounce nails capacity, battery, and that glorious handle. Want a stylish desk piece that tricks you into drinking more? The Hydro delivers. And if you're just testing the waters on a budget, the Aqua Vital is your low-risk ticket in. All 7 links are in the description, so grab whichever one fits your life. Drop a comment telling me which you're leaning toward, and I'll catch you in the next one.